Sony Corporation's PESTLE Analysis by Cullison Barlow. Today, January 10th, 2021. Today's agenda would be Sony Corporation's overview, PESTLE analysis, political factors, economic factors, social factors, technological factors, legal factors, environmental factors, and analysis wrap-up. Sony Corporation's overview. Sony Corporation was founded in its beginning in the wake of World War II. Sony Corporation started in a department store. In 1958, Tokyo Toshin Koyo changed their name to Sony. Sony started with only 8 employees. PESTLE analysis. A PESTLE analysis is considered an essential for market planning and strategizing. A PESTLE analysis has to be conveyed in order to comprehend market trends and all the potential systematic risk. It is used to give an overview of the factors that can affect the market. Political factor number 1, political sustainability or political stability. Sony Corporation really benefits from political stability in majority of the largest markets. Political conditions can affect the markets where Sony operates, seeing how Sony operates in multiple countries. The impact this has is short to long term. The threat possibility is 4 out of 10. Political factor number 2, regulations. We all know corporations don't like regulations, but regulations can change at any given time. This could affect Sony at any time during that change. Impact could be short to long term. The threat is a possibility of 5 out of 10. Political factor number 3, trade restrictions. This could affect the way that Sony Corporation works. So Sony needs to always follow the rules and regulations that are imposed by any government in all of the countries that they operate in. Impact can be considered long-term, and a threat is potentially 4 out of 10. Economic factor number 1, the rate of gross domestic product growth. This could affect Sony on how fast they are expected to grow in the near future. The impact could be short to long term. The threat is 2 out of 10. Economic factor 2, unemployment. The unemployment rate in the country would mean that there is a greater supply of jobs that would be in demand. Impact can be considered long term. Threat 1 out of 10. Economic factor number 3, increasing disposable incomes. There is an increase of disposable income which could make Sony grow their revenues. Impact could be long term. Threat 1 out of 10. Sociological factor number 1, increasing adoption of online gaming. The increasing adoption of online gaming creates a way for Sony Corporation to improve the revenue from the sales of their gaming products, such as PlayStation. Long term is the impact, and the threat can be considered a very positive thing. The threat is 0 out of 10. Sociological factor number 2, improving wealth distribution. Improving Sony's wealth distribution will create a lot more opportunities for the corporation. The impact is considered to be long-term. The threat, 0 out of 10. Sociological factor number 3, increasing openness towards leisure. Sony can boost their sales revenue based on their increasing openness towards leisure. Impact is to be expected short to long term. The threat is 0 out of 10. Technological factor number 1. Increasing dependence on digital technologies. With the increasing demand for dependence on digital technologies, this can gain Sony a lot of opportunities to increase their demands and revenues. The impact is short to long term. Threat 1 out of 10. Technological factor number 2. High rate of adoptions of mobile technologies. Sony Corporation can exploit their high rate of adoption of their mobile technologies by innovating their devices for higher competitiveness. Impact short to long term. Threat 2 out of 10. Technological factor number 3. High rate of research and development activity, also known as R&D. The high rate of research and development activity increases the corporation's competitiveness against Sony. This factor can be considered a huge threat for Sony because it creates a lot more challenges posing against them. Impact is long term. Sony, just like any other corporation, has their competitors. The threat is 9 out of 10. Legal factor number 1. Improving patent protection. By improving patent protection highlights both governmental and intergovernmental efforts. This factor gives Sony opportunities for them to grow their business while expecting minimum challenges in protecting their proprietary information and designs. Long term is the impact, and 0 out of 10 for threats. Legal factor number 2. Increasing regulations on e-waste. The increasing regulations on e-waste can be considered to be a threat in terms of the additional efforts and expenses of reducing environmental impact of Sony's consumer electronics and gaming products. Impact is can be considered short to long term. Threat 5 out of 10. Legal factor number 3. Increasing product regulations. The increasing product regulations poses a threat to Sony Corporation. By requiring additional expenditure for compliances, Sony must increase their research and development investment in order to satisfy all of the additional regulations of their product safety. Impact is short to long term. Threat level 5 out of 10. Environmental factor number 1. Sony Corporation can enhance their brand image by increasing their sustainability efforts. This will give the corporation a lot more opportunities. Impact is considered to be short to long term. Threat 1 out of 10. Environmental factor number 2. Increasing demand for environmentally friendly products. By Sony Corporation making their products more environmental friendly will help them attract a lot more customers. Impact short to long term. Threat level 1 out of 10. Environmental factor number 3. Increasing availability of recycling facilities. By increasing the availability of recycling facilities, this can improve the potential success rate for Sony's efforts to address product end-of-life concerns. Impact long term. Threat 0 out of 10. On to analysis wrap-up. The PESTLE analysis for Sony Corporation above reveals both the significant opportunities and potential threats that can shape Sony's 4 segments. A lot of these factors present a lot of potential opportunities that Sony Corporation can decide to take. One recommendation includes Sony Corporation to increase their efforts in product innovation to improve environmental impact and competitive advantages. The second recommendations that I would have to say would be for Sony to expand their business to developing markets that can maximize their revenues. If you want to take a look, you can look at my references on the next slide. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me in this presentation. Have a great day.